All right, so the last 4 gallons has finally stopped running. We've got all of our raw sap now into the container, so I'm going to go ahead and start pulling some of this equipment away. There went the last drops of it. So we get that out of there, up out of the way. Now at this point, I always like to make sure that there's nothing left in the jug. Feels like there might be a little. There was a splash. That's all you missed. But now that we've got all that out of the way, we're going to move on here. So that's the last 9 gallons that we harvested of raw sap down into the boil chamber now. So what I'm doing here is just getting everything out of the way. So this little crossbar that you saw, I had the clothespin on to hold the tube in place. We can get rid of that now. So here we are, and this is what it looks like after boiling for quite some time now. We started at 11 o'clock this morning, I believe it was, and it's now just before 2:30 in the afternoon. So it's been going for a couple of hours now, but we're down to the final stages here. So just trying to move some stuff around here to get into the next part of it. So um, you may remember me talking in one of the earlier videos about keeping that foam line up above, or keeping it even so it doesn't sink down and start building up scorch. But you can see that as the flow started running out, that's what started to happen. But we also have a lot of that foam built up there. So I'm going to go ahead at this point and I'm going to start scraping some of that off. And all I do is I use a little sieve and flop that right into a bucket. And back around here into a bucket. And that will help remove what will, I believe, become some of the niter and sand. Um, Even if not some of the particulate matter that would have gotten into your collection jugs from trees and insects and stuff, sometimes gets captured up here in this foam, and it's one of those steps that gets into the process of clean, uh, pure syrup a little bit faster. So I like to take that off, and now we can see this defined edge here on the back where the foam had been, and it is already starting to scorch. So what'll happen as the sap reduces, that scorch line's going to widen out. You can see it over here in the corner if you can see through the foam. Yeah, there we go. That's a good pick of it. But again, that's just going to make your syrup darker and potentially put some burnt flavor into the sap or into your syrup as well. I'm looking at the burner furthest from me now, and I see that that boil is starting to severely reduce. That tells me that my propane tank is about to run out. So some good timing here. One thing I have found with propane tanks is if you give them a good shake, when they get low like that, the flame kicks up a little bit and you get a little bit longer boil out of them. But we're soon going to have to go ahead and switch that out just for the purpose of continuing to boil this down as much as possible. But you can see we're starting to take on that nice golden color. Um, in here, it smells, like maple syrup. I could liken it to a lightly toasted marshmallow, if you will. But the scent in here is really nice. The color's looking really good. So far, we're mission accomplished. So just want to check back on this phase, and once we get it boiled down to a point where I would transfer it over into a pot and start boiling it down that way, I will check back in. Until then, thanks for stopping by.